Hello and welcome back to the Captain's Table. This is the Q&A session for the Captain's Table with Darjanator and Astral Gemini. If you missed the last section, we talked all about 317.2. It's good, it's bad, you know, the awkward parts of it. You should be checking that out before you watch this section or listen to this section. If you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be above. It'll be right above Astral Gemini's head. You'll see a little thing pops out. You'll be able to click that link. And then, tap it, slap it, tickle it, however you want to do. Bop it, twist it.
Twist it.
Yeah.
Call it.
Watch that first and come back to this. If you're listening to this on the podcast format, it'll be the previous episode. And if you are watching this on Twitch, it'll just be the few minutes beforehand. So you can, watch it back in the live VOD. This is the section where we take questions from the chat about anything about Star Citizen related. Usually it's about...
Also the Spectrum thread.
No. I should start doing a Spectrum thread just to have people insult me. And so I can start asking those questions on the Spectrum thread. Just so I too can say that no one asks questions that are appropriate for the guests, and they're just going to say random stuff. But the difference is that I can be a snarky, be much more snarky and vulgar to my viewers than Jared can. So
he has such a difficult job. I can see him wanting to release his inner snark, but he's contractually obligated not to.
Well, it's not worth it. It's not worth the aftermath.
The fallout.
Yeah. But anywho, speaking about questions, let's pull some questions up. The first question is from Griffin Gaming RPG from Soul Citizens. If you haven't already watched that, make sure you are subscribed to Soul Citizens. They are part of our PodSat, which is the podcast Saturdays, which is Soul Voices, then Captain's Table, and Relay Station. On Saturdays, all Star Citizen content. So if you want that kind of stuff, make sure you're subscribed to both those wonderful channels on YouTube and come and watch us those live on Twitch. So if you like that kind of discussions. Griffin asks, what ship is your daily driver? Astral, what's your daily driver ship?
The 400i.
Ooh.
I love it. It's, it's just super comfy, very convenient layout, tons of fuel, great components. I find it is just, it just works. It's also my favorite ship, so, that helps. So it's a stylish ride.
Yeah, I understood why a lot of people, like I myself, I'm like, this is kind of an odd ship, but if you like the aesthetics, I understand why. Like if you are someone who's like, I want to get from point A to point B, I want to do a little bit of exploration, maybe a little bit of combat. The 400i is not so large that you're just like, I feel like this is too much of a ship, but it's not too small where it's like, this could also just be a single seater. It's definitely not. So
yeah.
Darjanator, daily driver.
For just small missions, Avenger, because it's like the all rounder, and it doesn't feel as cumbersome as the 400i, but it can do pretty much everything the 400i does. But for more leisurely pootling around and more role play stuff, it's the 400i as well.
Oh, nice.
And also something my good co-host didn't mention. The cargo bay fits either a Cyclone or a Mule.
Ooh.
You will scrape the roof of the Mule when going in and out, but it does fit the Mule. It's fine, yeah.
My daily driver is it's a toss up, but it's a Cutlass Red or a Freelancer Miss. Now the red I may think about getting rid of and just getting a black instead, but it's nice.
No, you want the steel.
I of course want the steel, the Cutlass Short Bus. But
so when I first started playing Star Citizen, I got the Freelancer starter pack and upgraded it to a Ms. And that was my main ship that I flew for a very long time. So I can definitely understand where you're coming from. That's a great ship. It's so good.
The 400i also looks like it's like the ship that the Wowbagger, the Infinitely Prolonged, would travel the universe and insulting every person individually in alphabetical order.
Yes, it is that kind of ship.
Because it's like just big enough to have all the amenities to live out of, but it doesn't feel like this huge cumbersome thing.
Yeah. I can see the appeal for it. I know why people don't like it, because it's like the gunning positions are off, but it's like the gunning positions are designed to defend you. It's not a ship you take. It's not a ship you take off to go into combat. It's a ship you take off and you're like, oh, someone's behind me. I'm going to shoot them. Like a lot of Origin ships.
Shoot them and run away because I'm very fast and definitely have more fuel than you.
My 409, when we can name them, my 409 will be named Brave Sir Aubin.
Not just the runaway. All right, next question comes from Del Ener, who asks, is 317.2 ready for Siege of Orison? If not, should CIG postpone the event for 318? The event feels unfeasible without PES and persistent entity streaming and server meshing. What do you think, Darj?
We talked about this on the main show.
Yeah, we kind of talked around it. We didn't talk
around
about
it. Yeah, we didn't talk about it. We talked around it. Yeah. If I want to make a yes or no answer, I'm gonna say that it's not ready. No, that the person who asked the question nails it. That servers in their current state are not equipped with handling the sort of FPS AI load that Siege of Orison is about to unleash.
Astral Gemini, what do you think?
I think I agree with Jarj. I think that the event, every time I've tried it when they've been running it on the PTU server, it's been pretty broken. It's still been like really fun, but I've never actually been able to like complete the mission because it always always either breaks or just or we just take too long and it restarts because there's just the objectives are really difficult to achieve if you don't have like a lot of people there. Actually,
but maybe that's the point.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I would say that CIG shouldn't bring it because I think that even if it's broken, it'll still be fun.
Yeah. I agree. I'm of the same mind of like, remember when the first Xenothreat came out and how bad it was? It was a garbage can on fire. You had 5 FPS. Like it was terrible. Like the performance was horrible, but we liked it because it was progress and it was showing something we hadn't seen before.
And they proved it, but at the same time, they haven't actually managed to fix the servers. If anything, there's more loads on the servers these days.
Yeah. Yet they fixed it. So, I mean, I think the question is, no matter what, I think Siege of Orison will eventually get fixed. Even if the PES wasn't for another year or so, it would still get fixed. But I think with PES coming around the corner, that it probably will improve those, and it'll get its own pass for Siege of Orison 2.0, at some point.
Yeah. So and I think it comes down to what we were discussing in the previous segment, which is that they, during this 3.17.2 section, they really want to be running their dynamic events in order to
entertain.
keep things fresh and fun and entertaining, especially for newer players.
Next question comes from Cupan, who asks, how is everyone today? I am doing good, not doing well, as Darj says at the very beginning. I'm a little, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, and I'm a little sniffly. So after this, I'm going to go get some food and go to sleep. What about you, Darj?
Get some Benadryl because you can't sneeze when you're fucking unconscious.
That's true.
I'm quite good. Just before the show started, I had my first meal of the day, which was a godsend. And I don't mean that just because it was after midnight. Just like since I woke up, it was the first thing I've eaten. So yeah, but yeah, it's been a day, and it's getting better because of the show.
Yeah.
Astral.
Yeah, I'm having a pretty good day. Yeah, nothing really to complain about. So yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking.
Thank you, Cupan.
How are you doing, Cupan?
Yeah, how are you doing, Cupan? You always ask us how we're doing. We know how you were doing.
Yeah.
Normandy Revenge asks, how is everyone... Oh, yep, we already answered that question. Thank you, Normandy. Cupan cut off Normandy because that's usually Normandy's question. Okay. Sandy Groper asks, for the guests, what is your emotional support ship in Star Citizen? I think Darj has already answered this question once in the past. Astral, what is your emotional support ship?
Ooh. That's a tough one. By emotional support ship, I'm assuming you mean the ship that you
always makes you feel better.
Okay. I'm gonna have to be a bit weird here and say the Starfarer.
Okay.
Because every time I walk around that ship, I can't help but laugh at just how broken literally everything in that ship is. It's so awful.
It's
just
a terrible
everything
design.
everything in it is just completely terrible. And I spend hours running around the ship just cackling my head off at just like you know, it's just terrible. The layout is terrible. Everything is made out of chrome, literally everything.
It's
and just like missing assets everywhere. And
really? Wait. Missing assets? What's missing?
Yeah. The table in the mess hall is gone.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
There's other things that are just like, they're just like, you know, supposed to be there and are just not there, or just like, and there's just like corridors that just go nowhere, and just like places that it's like it looks like there's something that's supposed to be there, but there's not. It's just like an empty room with nothing. And it's just, it's just a complete disaster, and it makes me so happy. I love it.
Darsh.
I don't know what I said last time, but I think it was the Carrack.
Okay. Reliable.
Because reliable, but it's like it's your home base. It's like with the 400i is like a name is like a not it's like a motorhome, because it has all the amenities to for you while you're on your journey. But the Carrack is basically, it's your home, so you can just stay there. You don't have to go to stations for anything, because it has everything. But yeah, it's because it's the Serenity, it's Firefly. So yeah.
For me, it's the Starlight or the Star Runner, but it wasn't asked for me. It was asked for you too. But I say Star Runner.
Yes, because it was for the guests,
for the host. Not for the host. Thank you, Sam.
None for you. Oh, how dare you answer this question?
Anna Gecko asks, knowing that a dedicated studio, Game Horizon, is working on the quantum simulation, how do you feel about its future development? Now, I am going to give some context here, because I did this in the office hours, but not everyone watches a 5-hour stream. So I will give some context for those of you who may have heard about this in SCL. Game Horizon is not some fly-by-night new company that CIG has worked with. They're the company that made the ARC star map on the website. And it's likely that they've been working with CIG on Quantum since before 2020 when we first saw it. Because if you look at the display for Quantum, it uses the ARC star map. It doesn't use any in-game assets. It uses the ARC star map. and now that we know that they're actually working with CIG to work on Quantum, for me that just tells them, okay, so yeah, they use assets because they already made those assets for CIG, so just reuse those assets, and and that's why they used it in the first place, is because they've been working with them since the beginning. And they also are a company that's worked with Turbulent, and they're in Montreal. So I actually...
Them Canadians.
At first I was like, this is a weird company, this is strange, but now that I kind of did some research on them, I'm like, oh, they're like Turbulent. If you're one of those people who's like, the Montreal studio is a fantastic studio that managed to get like sprint out of the gate and get everything right, then you should feel fine about Game Horizon, because it's the same thing. They've been working with Star Citizen and CIG for years, so they're not some new stuff. So
we don't know exactly what they're doing on Quantum, though. Is it it's possible that, considering they did just the front end, the 3D facing, the user facing 3D interface for the star map, it's possible that they also doing just that for Tony, for Quantum. Yeah.
But the implication was, based off the question, was that Tony and the Game Horizon people were working on Quantum together. It wasn't like just
they didn't mention Turbulent, who is in charge. But we know Turbulent's in charge of everything when it comes to the back end. Anyway, it's Quantum, it's persistent entity streaming. That's all Turbulent.
So it might be that Game Horizon is building the code base, but it's not. It's building the actual like tools and then giving it to Turbulent to plug into the game.
Could be. Yeah.
So, Astral, what do you think?
I don't really know much about this. This is actually kind of the first that I've heard that Quantum had been turned over to another studio. I don't know where I ended up out of the loop as far as that's concerned, but
it was an SCL.
It was an SCL.
It's news to me, but I must have missed that one, or just like spaced it during that part. I don't know. But it sounds fine from what you guys are saying, and it seems like Quantum is starting to trickle into the game. I know that they mentioned that the Quantum like combat beacons that we're starting to see pop up in game are being run by Quantum. So that's why you'll get like 15 of them, and then they'll just like stop, because Quantum will have moved them somewhere else.
By Quantum as well.
Yeah, fuel prices. Yeah. And we also know that in the near future, because there was in the last monthly report, they're already working on another set of Quantum missions that will be run by the Quantum system, which aren't in 3.17.2, really cool. But they're in the distant future. So
that'll be really cool.
All right. Next question comes from QPan, who asks, what's your favorite ground vehicle in the verse?
One that doesn't exist yet. It is an Atlas-based land train.
There we go.
So trailers upon trailers upon trailers, just so we can break that fucking physics engine.
Mine is going to be the Ranger, which is not in the game yet, just because the idea of having a motorcycle, an Akira motorcycle in Star Citizen is just mwah.
And it fits in the 400i motorcycle bay.
Yeah, because it collapses in, so you can put it into even an Avenger. So, Astral, favorite ground vehicle?
I'll be the odd guy out and talk about one that's actually flyable. The hover quad. I really like the hover quad. I think it looks fantastic. I think it's just super fun to fly. For me personally, I don't know if anyone else feels this way. I don't know if anyone else cares. I think it handles better than like a Dragonfly or a Nox. Just like turns a lot more sharply.
I think it's a little faster than Dragonfly. It's like faster than Dragonfly, but slower than a Nox, but more maneuverable than a Nox.
It wasn't out during the last day of our rally, was it?
I don't think so. No.
So we may actually see an upset next year.
It drives super smooth. I've spent hours flying around or zipping around with it on like the ice lake at Microtech. Just hours and hours. All of the paints for it are like amazing. seriously, all of the paints for it are super good. It doesn't have a single bad paint. And it's tiny.
How does it survive the river?
Everything. Fine, actually.
Well, the last few times I went on it, I trust my fortnite I went to one of the outposts, I grabbed it, went back to the river, and exploded in 5 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Really, I've been able to drive it on top of water, no problem.
It's not the water; it's the fucking boulders everywhere.
Okay.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Well, you know what that sounds like? It sounds like a skill issue.
Sounds like get good, Darj.
Just don't crash into the rocks is what it sounds like to me.
Oh, all right. Next question comes from Gin and Tonic, who asks, every patch objectively has more to do in it than the patch before it. Assuming that they get the stability solved, they've made great gains thus far. Why do you think there would be fewer people coming into the game? History simply doesn't support the theory. And Lagrange is Lagrange, not Lagrange, whatever he's saying. We don't actually. None of us said. I don't think any of us said that there'd be fewer people coming into the game.
Nope.
No. We don't think. We said we all said that. Well, it'll probably They will probably continue to grow, no matter what.
I think that like the closest thing, at least regarding to that, is that like during certain patches, it seems like the hype of the game kind of dies down, and when hype dies down, naturally like publicity is gonna die down because if the people that are making content about the game are not as excited about how the game is at the moment, then obviously it's not going to seem as exciting to people who are what English potentially interested in getting into the game. I know that for me 3.16 was a rough period. Like I struggled to make content for the game just because there was nothing.
Yeah,
there was nothing at all that was new in 3.16. But I feel like 3.17 too has like enough new stuff in it that it's gonna keep the general player base very, very hyped, keep the energy high all the way up to 3.18, which of course is going to be a very big patch.
I mean, just Jump Town, post wipe Jump Town, post wipe Xenothreat, and post wipe or Siege of Orison is like that. Those alone are going to be pretty massive.
Money,
yeah, because it's going to earn you money and you'll have a good time doing it. So that's the key.
Exactly.
Like Xenothreat's fun, not because it's like it's effectively a really well done or like because you make a ton of money, but because everything you do, you can always, there's a place for everyone in Xenothreat, the Xenothreat missions.
Yeah.
If you're not a combat pilot, grab a tractor beam, load stuff into a ship, take that to point A to point B.
That's what I always say about Xenothreat is I think that Xenothreat is the best dynamic event because because there is something for literally everyone to do, and it explores so many different gameplay loops all at once that it's just a really well designed event. I really like it.
Yeah. But yeah, I think, and yeah, Jin does say it's like, isn't summertime a hype lull? Yes. And you're also going to see, because I've already noticed this, is that this time specifically is when you see a huge drop off of creator numbers, not creators, but people watching creators. Because between the beginning of July and the end of July, traditionally in the US at least, and I think this is to agree in a lot of other places, is the break period for like schools and when a lot of people take their vacations to go
North Hemisphere,
for the Northern Hemisphere. I don't know if I think the Southern Hemisphere also has a break this time period as well.
Sure, but it's not as extensive. It's not the year break; it's the mid-year break. It's like
Yeah,
because they do want their summer off, but it's currently winter.
Yeah, it's more like a winter break for both of them. But yeah, they don't travel. You're just trying to say, so they're not out. They're more stuck inside than moving around. But yeah, so and for Northern Hemisphere, as a result, because of that, it's we tend to see, like, I already noticed, like, I too consume content, and as I consume content, I've noticed that all of my creators that I usually watch have not created much content in the last month. And I've already seen it with my own numbers, where my numbers are doing okay, and they're doing actually really good in other aspects, but like the numbers are not as strong in terms of like right out the gate as they used to.
Exactly.
And that goes on to video games as well, because if people are out visiting their families, they're not on their computers playing games. So
yeah, true.
I've been seeing that as well, as like when you put out a video, it doesn't get it like the majority of the views on that video start coming in like a day or two after you release the video, because not everyone is, sees the video immediately, clicks it. Oh, I'm gonna watch the new video. They think, I'm out with my family, I'll watch it tomorrow or something like that.
Yeah, you don't usually see a huge deficit, but you definitely are seeing a delayed reaction.
Yeah.
So, and that goes the same thing for video games. It's just because people want to go outside and touch grass. So,
while there's still grass.
While there is still grass.
The only thing I want to add is that to Gin and Tonic is that just like any name that's been transliterated from the original language to American. I'm not saying English because it is the Americans that are doing it. Yeah. It's inherently wrong because the man was Giuseppe Ludovico Lagrange Tournier. So so either you go by his name, which is Lagrange, or you completely butcher it. So it's you can say Lagrange, you can say Lagrange, you can say Lagrangian, which is the most correct thing.
It's also like what is it? Aegis. It's not. It's Aegis, Aegeus.
Yeah. On the last, I think it was, what was the last Astro esports, Atmo esports stream? Was
Stanton 7?
Fight or Flight?
Like just
Stanton 7. Yeah. People were making fun of not Crucian for saying Aegis.
But it's like
But that is actually how the ancient Greek pronounced it.
Would have probably pronounced it, yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is that we often translate like ancient Greeks into Latin, and then Latin has a different pronunciation than Greek does, and so that kind of stuff. And then you pronounce it, then you translate it into any other language, it's going to have a different like sound. So
yeah, exactly. And then you get to stuff like octopi.
Yeah,
which is completely wrong.
I'll still die on the hill that I believe aluminum was first discovered by an American in terms of named. So,
and he wanted to call it aluminum.
Yeah, but
aluminum.
But it's an American. And so the American pronunciation of aluminum is correct, not aluminium.
No, he wanted to pronounce it and call it aluminum, not aluminum or aluminium, aluminum.
Yeah,
and then both the UK scientific office or whatever it was in the American society heard it wrong. Both of them heard it wrong or something like that, and started calling it different things.
Yeah, just chucked an N and N in there for some reason.
Well, it's like the guy. It's like GIF and GIF. No one calls it a GIF. Yeah. It's a GIF.
There is precedent in the periodic table for both naming
aluminum and aluminium
and
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Anyway,
we're trying to say is death of the author.
Also, yes, Genetuck. I'm gonna say that to ZZ Top. Yes.
ZZ Top. All right. So Deliner asks, should CIG also get Game Horizon to make a Star Citizen version of Chop Chop to add in game for arcade or Moby-Glass? I would love to. That would be fantastic. For those of you who don't know, Game Horizon's main source of income is they make the Chop Chop games on mobile.
I had no idea what that is.
It's a fairly popular downloadable. It's not like a huge. It's not like Angry Birds or something like that. But like if you just if you look at like go onto like your app store, I'll do it right now and see where it is. Look up Chop Chop. It's like one of the top like couple of Chop Chop are
I think to kind of expand on that a little bit. I think just having the in-game like arcade machines that you can find at like the stations and whatever, like in the gallery and whatever, just having them functioning and playing anything at all would be really cool.
Yeah,
I find nothing by Game Horizon.
No, they should.
Chop Chop, Brainstorm, Hatikarat, Zook Games, Mini Game, and that's everything that's Chop Chop.
They should be up there. I've seen them before in there because like when they said Chop Chop, like, I remember that. That's like maybe it's Chop Dash Chop.
But if you go into Game Horizons,
yeah, you're right.
It's iOS only. It's not on
Android.
It's
iOS.
That would be it.
That's why. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, I agree with you there, Astral. I agree with you, Astral, that we need to have more of those like those just get Hyper Vanguard for us into the games.
Yeah, even just like even if they could just like play like Pong or Pac-Man or something like that. Just having the ability there to just like walk up to one of those arcade machines and just like interact with it and just like play a little arcade game would be fantastic, I think.
Yeah. And it's not that people would do it necessarily, but because of the nature of Star Citizen, and as we get closer, you're gonna have time where you're just gonna stay in a station or in a landing zone for like 5-10 minutes, and you'll be planned and ready to go.
Just waiting for your ship to claim or something like that.
Waiting for a friend to pick you up, waiting for a friend to show up at the station or system or whatever. Like it's gonna happen. So once you've got everything planned out and ready to go, you can just go to an arcade game and play a little arcade. So.
Yeah. They also need to make all of the different restaurants able to actually sell you food.
Yes.
And
sit
the
down
machines.
And eat. Yes.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. But that gets me onto the other high horse of pizza in game, which is like game is literally unplayable until we can eat pizza in game.
No, they're still developing the stretchy cheese stack.
Well, we do know that with the Big Benny's noodles that there is a in the Redeemer, you can get a can that you can open up, and they will pull out out of nowhere a fork, and you eat the can like out of the can with the fork. Yes, it's in the game. So that means it's like if you have that, you should have Big Benny's noodles. CIG.
Where do they get the fork from? These are the real questions we need to be asking: is where does the fork come from?
It came from quantum space. That's where it came from.
I've actually seen like fork props in the game. Like there are tools. Bless you. There are tools that you can get that lets you break open the game and just get all the props out. And there's forks and breakable forks, not just regular forks, but ones that break up and you can fold them together and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff in game.
Yeah.
But I just realized the bed sheet physic tech, that is just a smoke screen for the stretchy cheese on pizza.
Yes, exactly. It's the tier 0 for stretchy cheese. There we go. All right. The next question comes from Hey, it's Nick, who asks, have you thought about systems that you want to call home when they're released? Darsh?
Well, my main goal is basically going to be to live on a Carrack or a Carrack-sized ship. I still want a civilian version of a Polaris. No torpedo launcher, but, more room for amenities. So I don't care so long as the view's good and I'm not being attacked by pirates all the time. So
yeah. You have any idea, Astral?
I have no idea. Honestly, I'm kind of like Dars there, where my end goal is to just kind of like live on my Kraken
Mhm.
and just have that kind
McCracken?
of being my
McCracken.
Kraken. Yeah. Somebody please Photoshop that meme and send it to me. Just make that. I need it. I didn't know I needed something in my life this much until that. But yeah, that's kind of my end goal, is not like have any like specific place that I'm gonna live, just kind of like
Just
live on the go.
wherever the verse takes you, you know.
Yeah, and just this kind of flying base, which is, I think, one of the things that is kind of like an end goal that I don't know that any other game besides Star Citizen really allows you to have.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
There are some that let you have property, but all of those are on their own instance, like a pocket dimensions type of thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not a part of the greater universe.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I'm with both of these gentlemen that I would generally not have a place that I would settle down, but I do think that I would call Magnus home, just because Magnus is in kind of dead center of the Empire, so if there's a jump point from Magnus to Stanton. And from Magnus, you can also go to Ellis and then go to Sol. It's like the new halfway point between Sol and Terra, which means that you can go to the Eastern Empire and go visit with the Xi'an. You can go towards the Banu, or you can go towards the Bandul, and it's not too far away. It's also the home of Drake Interplanetary, so. There you go.
Well, at least your local landfill is going to be very nearby. You know, just go to your nearest Drake manufacturing yard.
It's free real estate. Okay. Land value is going to be primo in Magnus, while the rest of you all are like, how am I going to pay my taxes? We're living in Ellis in the green system, or fill my Carrick. I'm like, I paid 2 nickels and a ferret, and I got myself 500 acres on Magnus. Fuck all y'all.
Yeah, all you gotta do is clear out all the rusting metal off the top.
Yeah, I just gotta salvage my the land before I can even use it.
Yeah.
Speaking of salvage, they're gonna have that technology in game before they properly fix ship naming. So so many people will just take their multi-tool and carve the name of their ship into the side of the ship. Yeah, next to several penises.
Yeah, I was gonna say most of it's just gonna be penises is gonna be the name. My ship is the penis, or other variants. All right. Next question comes from Ionic Gecko, who asks, with upcoming events in mind, do you think CIG will make more interconnected events that can affect and trigger each other, like Ninetales Lockdown potentially triggering Siege of Orison? Or do you see them making more standalone events?
Oh, that's a cool thing. Like,
that could be cool. Like Ninetales happens and it draws away Crusader security, and then they go attack Orison. I think that
or
really
Xenothreat takes advantage of the lowered military forces in Stanton because everybody's at Orison, and you know, throws an attack at the what's the name of the station?
Jericho. Yeah. I think that's kind of the point, though. So that's what CIG wants to do. They want to have events in the game be able to fill up a meter, and then eventually when that meter hits, it will cause an event. So I wouldn't be surprised if CIG had the idea of having events as meter fillers. Like, it makes sense that the Siege of Orison would eventually be triggered, would be more triggered if the Ninetales succeeded in the blockade. If you had the 9 kills succeed a bunch of blockade missions events, then the Siege of Orison may trigger faster than if you did other missions.
Because they get cocky.
Yeah. You know, and you know, they've managed to push back Crusader and stretch them to their limits. So
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that would absolutely make sense.
I can see that. Yeah. I think the question is more, how does CIG register events, and can events bounce off of other events? And knowing Tony Z, the answer is
yes.
If he can do it, he'll do it. Outlaw 90 asks, AstroPub to Spectrum integration when? Soon, TM. 2 years. It'll be 2 years. And then 2 years from now, it'll be 2 years. Yeah.
Are they talking about... Well, but the thing is, once Star Citizen is complete and Spectrum is this all-encompassing internet inside of the game, do you think they will allow people to post stuff? Like, do you think the community hub will be integrated into the sort of browsing experience inside the game?
Yes. I've talked with I had a chance to sit down and talk to, why am I blanking on his name? At GDC a couple years ago, one of the heads of Turbulent.
Bolt?
No.
Benoit Bouchard?
Benoit. It was Benoit.
Yeah, Bolt. Yeah.
Yeah. But when I talked with Benoit, and from when I talked with him about it, that was effectively their plan. That was their.
So that would basically mean you could bring up a video of the captain's table on a screen in your ship and just play it.
Possible. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I also in a discussion that we had with Dave Haddock on my other podcast, the Lore Citizen podcast, where we talk about lore. Dave Haddock mentioned that they are definitely working on putting like the Galactopedia into the verse, and they want to do it.
Oh, I'd love that on the Moby-Glass, yeah.
So,
I mean, it makes sense. Whenever I mean, in real life, whenever we don't know about anything, we look up. We immediately go to Wikipedia. So.
And also, it'd be amazing. Just like you have a screen at the back of the bar on the Connie Phoenix. You could just have the AstroPub podcast playing there on the screen.
Yeah.
While the AstroPub is filling up your beer.
Yeah,
I think the denizens of a Constellation Phoenix will have other things on their minds rather than watching the AstroPub. I always say the Phoenix is a stripper ship. Like, come on.
It is an orgy ship. It is.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah. It is for pineapple parties.
As long as it's not for lemon parties.
Yeah. All right. I saw this question and I was like, I actually have something, because I was going to go for Halloween, I was going to wear a Tyler Whitkin cosplay, and I didn't stream on Halloween. So I had it in my office for a long time, but I think I put it away. The question is from Randir Lom, who asks, why can't all guests wear awesome shirts like Astral?
I don't know. Why can't they?
Because
I think you should make it mandatory, honestly.
Wear an awesome shirt. Well, there can only be one.
You start your own podcast with blackjack and hookers, and there you can have that rule that all people have to wear the Hawaiian shirts.
That is a really good Hawaiian shirt, though. I'll say that.
Thank you.
It's very nice.
This is one of my least colorful ones.
That's one of your least colorful ones.
Yeah.
That's a muted one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
I told you, I have a lot of them.
I got a lot. I can't say much. I wear this every time I stream. So like I've got tons of shirts and vests already.
Hawaiian shirts aren't a thing here because I'm not from the States. So a lot of people would be very surprised that the United States culture does not expand outside of the United States.
I don't see why this needs to just be United States culture. I think that the world would be a much more wonderful place.
That is exactly the mentality. It's like people expect their culture to be everywhere.
Darsh, you live in Eastern Europe, all right?
Yeah.
Like Central, but yeah. Former Soviet state.
We had some fucking breakthrough, and they for one beautiful moment in time, I was no longer ashamed to live in my country. Is they legalized gay marriage?
Hey,
because a couple of years ago we had the referendum, and it fell exactly by accident. It fell exactly right after all the peasants had their ears filled with sin and blasphemy at their local Sunday mass. So it didn't pass. Just it didn't pass. But all of a sudden, the Constitutional Court realized, oh shit, this law actually breaks the Constitution. So they just said, nope, gay marriage, fine, and it's done.
Nice.
So yay! I'm no longer. So at that moment, we moved slightly from Eastern Europe to Central Europe.
There we go. All right,
that's where I was going with that.
Speaking of Darj, Qpan asks, Darj, what beer are you having tonight?
This is called a Misty. It is from Reset Brewery, which is a brewery about 20 minutes that way.
Nice. You said it's an IPA, right?
It is a hazy IPA with 6% alcohol by volume.
There you go.
That's all I can tell you because their list of ingredients is very vague.
All right. Hey, it's Nick asks, what is your favorite drinks that aren't beer? I'm guessing Nick is asking your favorite alcoholic drinks that's not beer. I'll go first because mine's basic. Mine's super basic. Old fashioned. Because it's reliable. Everyone knows how to make an old fashioned. It's hard to fuck it up at a bar. I've seen it happen, but usually when they fuck it up, they add more alcohol. So I'm okay with that. Darsh, what do you think? What's your favorite drink?
Favorite alcoholic one would be Irish cream.
Irish cream?
Other than beer. Favorite non-alcoholic, I'm gonna have to either if I'm going for caffeine, it would be Monster Mango Loco because I don't drink coffee.
Yeah.
And it's like you can actually sometimes get it with fruit pulp because it has 20% fruit content.
Nice.
In an energy drink. It's like what world are we living in? Yeah. And it is also delicious because it tastes exactly like mango. And the other one, Chalky milk or Chalky milkshake.
Yeah, this was good. Yeah, if we're going non-alcoholic, I'd say a malt, like a good chocolate malt. It's always good. Astral.
So I don't drink.
Okay.
I would say the closest thing I get to like an alcoholic drink is probably a pina colada smoothie.
Okay.
Just
So what's your favorite non-alcoholic?
Going with the Hawaiian theme.
Yeah. Hey, it's delicious. You just get some fresh pineapple, some fresh coconut, chuck it in a blender, or even frozen. It still tastes fantastic. Maybe some coconut milk.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, Darsh hit it on the nail there with the Mango Loco monster. So good. Yeah. It's so
I have to get
good.
it.
I've got a case sitting. I can see it. It's just sitting.
Taunting you.
Taunting. Yeah, you said you mentioned it, and then I immediately got thirsty for it. I'm like, dang it. Yeah, it's so good. But also Dr. Pepper. Always a good choice.
Always a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also say
I love Dr. Pepper knockoffs.
Knockoffs.
Yeah, there's like Professor Peppy.
Yeah.
and stuff like that. They all taste exactly the same. I am not enough of a Dr. Pepper aficionado to be able to tell the difference. But all of the knockoffs taste the same to me, and I just go for the ones that have the most ridiculous names.
I live in the home of Dr. Pepper. Literally, it's from Texas. It's probably like it's one of those drinks where a Texan will fight you if you don't have Dr. Pepper while you're in Texas. But at the same time, I can tell you I can't tell the difference. It's just prune soda is what it is. So I don't know. You just put prunes in soda and carbonate it. I think it has some cherry in it, but I think the main ingredients is still prune juice. It's like carbonated prune juice. So
interesting.
Mr. Pibb is
so it's a warrior's drink.
It's a warrior's drink. Yes, prune juice.
I will say Mr. Pibb is like noticeably much sweeter.
Yes,
than Dr. Pepper. It's like
Mr. Pibb maybe used cherry, but I know that's a Virginia drink. That's compared to. But they get compared all the time. It's like Pepsi versus Coke. Like Pepsi is always much sweeter than Coke is. So
exactly. I'm usually not a fan of Pepsi, but there's this. They recently came out with this mango Pepsi, and
haven't heard it. The reason why Pepsi tastes sweeter is because it was formulated to taste chilled, the same way that Coke tastes at room temperature, or other way around. One of those two.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're supposed to compare them at different temperatures.
Okay.
Interesting.
But I hate it when they keep messing with the flavor. Just put the fucking cocaine back or stop messing with it.
I'm with this. I'm okay with this campaign. I'm okay with this campaign. True Coke. Darsh is a true Coke aficionado. None of this new Coke stuff of
I'm not talking back. Mexican Coke. I'm talking Colombian Coke.
All right. We have two more questions, both from Gin and Tonic, who asks, do you think that keeping things fresh and fun is more important for old dogs like us rather than new folks coming in? No. Because new folks coming in can devour the content that Star Citizen has. And the problem is that Star Citizen doesn't have repeatable content as much. So because it doesn't have as much repeatable content, it's easy to go through and just plow through all of Star Citizen's content in like a week.
They are kind of getting there with gating certain missions behind reputation level, but there's just not enough of it yet.
Yeah.
I mean, you can grind from 0 rep to max rep in a day.
Yeah.
For a certain mission type, if you're really determined. So
Yeah. And the key is to keep things fresh and fun. I think what we're all meaning with that kind of sort of thing is more keep things moving in a way that keeps people wanting to log on before we have the tools that they need to be able to make it more like a daily thing where you can hop on and be like, I'm going to do this, So
yeah. And I think that I think that with Star Citizen, while a lot of the content that you do can start to feel dry, I think at this point they've gotten it so that there's enough different things to do that if you want to play the game but don't necessarily want to do bounty hunting, you still have quite a few other options that you can do.
Yeah. But we're just kind of at the edge of like, you want to do hauling, it's almost there. Like pretty much anything but like bounty hunting and mining. You don't
hauling,
really have any.
Hauling also needs to be so reputation gated that it's that the reputation gates that we have in game right now have nothing to do on what hauling actually does in real life.
Yeah,
because if you want to be an independent hauler, you need so much pull in the industry that it's almost impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it also makes a lot more sense to do things like, as someone in chat said, there's just not a lot of variation within the missions. Like, each bunker is not exactly the same, but there's like 7 layouts for bunkers, and you memorize them within the first day of playing those bunkers. I
think atmospheric bounties kind of helps with that.
Yeah,
it's always fun fighting someone planet side versus
bunkers getting reinforcements would be interesting.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
We basically need, for every other profession, we need the same thing that mining has, where like you want to go hand mining, you can go hand mining. You want to buy a rock and go rock mining, you can go rock mining. You want to go do mining on planets or on moons, you can do it on the surface. You want to go in the space, you want to do it with friends, you want to go refine it, you want to go sell it directly. You've got so many different options and different ways you can approach the same thing that you're never really bored. You can always kind of change it up if you need to.
I kind of find it funny that for a game that's famous for focusing so much on dogfighting, that mining is the first profession that's getting close to being completely fleshed out.
Yeah. I mean, I would argue that it's entirely. I would put mining at a version 1. Like it is like if you release the game with mining as it is now, it would not. No one would really complain that much.
Yeah, mining's pretty good. It's pretty fleshed out, especially with the new mining gadgets too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Only thing they need to flesh out is basically deposits, because they mentioned they want to do veins, as well as basically just rocks, which makes sense in terms of asteroids. But not on planets that you just have like a rock that has the ore in it instead of the ground that you're walking on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last question is a very brief question. It's from Gin and Tonic, who asks, "Can we see Darja's tattoo on your right arm?"
Sure. Yeah.
It's the solar system, right?
The solar system, yeah.
Yeah.
You got Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto.
Because you don't believe Pluto's a planet? Is that it? Is that where we're living in?
It's been proven scientifically that Pluto is not a planet. So I will not. I don't believe in science. I just have to follow science.
I don't believe in science. I have to follow science.
Science happens whether I believe in it or not. So.
I still will still count Pluto as a planet. I still love you, Pluto, even if nobody else does.
Pluto is more of a dog than it is a planet.
Oof. All right. That's the last question. Thank you all for joining us here tonight at the AstroPub. A good solid. I've been getting good at this, Darj. I've been getting good at doing 1 hour of discussion and 1 hour of question and answers.
Yeah,
and
I've been looking at the clock, and it's like, damn, 1 hour each.
Bang, bingo. I say I've been getting good at this. I have no idea what I'm doing. So this is just happens to slot in perfect.
That means we're not doing our job well enough, Darj, and taking it off on tangent to make.
But this is also something that's going to have to happen when Vertigo, Jake, and I are on the show. So that's going to be like a 6-hour show.
Oh, that's going to be a booze-filled fury is what that's going to be. I'm going to have to be drunk for that one. Oh.
Hey, nobody's stopping you.
Thank you all so much for joining us. Make sure that you're subscribed to Astral Gemini on YouTube, youtube.com/AstralGemini, all one word, right?
Yep.
And make sure that you're going to Darjanator.com.
Oh, no, it's 2 words. It's actually
you can have a space in your YouTube?
Yeah.
I'll have to double check.
Apparently.
Is it a space or is it a... So you have to go Astral %20 Gemini?
No, it's
because that's how URL works.
Space. Or not in the URL, but the actual channel name has a
okay.
Yeah. If you can just do youtube.com/AstralSpaceGemini, and it'll pop up with his name. That's pretty cool. Yeah, but
will it actually do that?
Yeah, it pulls it right up.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
We're just Astral Gemini. Oh, right, yeah, because it transforms it into %20. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Chrome is smart enough to turn space
really
into
cool,
a %20.
Yeah.
I had no idea you could actually do that. That's
you can't. Cool. The problem is you can't type that out because it will think it's just Astral, and then whatever is afterwards will not be part of the link. Yeah. It only works if you type it manually into the URL bar. And I pointed over there because that is where the URL bar is.
Yes. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you check those out. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. We are at 1,405 subscribers on YouTube. Love to have you come back and hit that. Follow us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Anchor.fm, which is where I upload all of them, and then it kind of distributes to the rest of it. And follow us here on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheAstroPub. And like I say every time, hope to see you someday in the black.